Kazuki and Rei, two assassins, kill a smuggler but are abruptly called away to take care of their daughter Miri. Prior to this, they share an apartment and work as assassins with support from their handler Kiyotaro. Kazuki, haunted by memories of his pregnant wife, regularly sends portions of his wages to someone. They plan to kill a human trafficker hosting a party at a hotel. Kazuki infiltrates the party, delivering a cake with Rei hidden inside. However, Miri arrives at the hotel alone, looking for her father. She unknowingly ruins their plan and is taken hostage by the target. Kazuki claims he is Miri's father and Miri jumps into his arms, allowing Rei to shoot the target. They discover that the target they killed was Miri's biological father through photographs found in her bag. After realizing they killed Miri's biological father, Kazuki and Rei contemplate returning her to her mother, but they don't know where she lives. They leave Miri in their apartment and ask Kiyotaro to help locate the mother without disclosing Miri's existence. Kiyotaro is already unhappy with them for their poor assassination job and is visited by another assassin, named Ojino. When they return home, they find that Miri has made a mess of the place. They are assigned to their next mission, which is to take down a drug kingpin. They have no choice but to bring Miri along with them. During the mission, Miri reveals Kazuki's identity, jeopardizing the operation. Rei comes to their rescue, and they manage to escape without killing the target. Kiyotaro then fires them, but he informs them that he has found a woman who could be the girlfriend of their next target. They are relieved to hear that she might be Miri's mother and look forward to getting back to work. In the meantime, Ojino successfully kills the drug kingpin and his guards. Rei begins to doubt whether Kazuki really wants to give up Miri after seeing them happy together. Kazuki admits that assassins aren't fit to be parents. Despite Kiyotaro's anger towards them, he eventually gives Kazuki the address of Miri's mother. Rei, who had a difficult childhood, tries his best not to interact with Miri. Kazuki visits Miri's mother, Miri Unasaka, and discovers she is a singer-prostitute with an abusive boyfriend/pimp. Rei looks after Miri in a nearby park and reminisces about his father, raising him to fight and kill. However, Miri goes missing, and her mother blames her for her terrible life and refuses to take responsibility. Kazuki is disgusted by her behavior and decides to leave. Meanwhile, Rei finds two policemen trying to take Miri as a lost child and contemplates leaving her behind. However, when Miri cries, he decides to be a better parent than his own father and claims he is her papa. They bring Miri back to their apartment a second time and become her fathers. Kazuki and Rei face difficulties in balancing their work as assassins and taking care of Miri. They plan to enroll Miri in day care but are shocked to discover that they need to provide employment and tax records, which they do not have as assassins. Kazuki stays up all night to forge the documents, and they finally manage to enroll Miri in a nearby daycare after she reveals their criminal activities. To make a good impression, they buy Miri expensive clothes and pose as wealthy parents, but this only causes her to become isolated from the other children. They beg Kiyotaro for another mission and receive it, but they also notice that Miri is becoming increasingly sad. The daycare manager Anna tells Kazuki that Miri's clothes are scaring other children away, so they take her shopping for normal clothes and redecorate a room to be her bedroom. Kazuki and Rei are in a financial crisis and have to ask Kiyotaro for work, who assigns them to several intelligence-gathering tasks since he doesn't trust them with assassinations. However, when the daycare closes due to a flu outbreak, they have to take care of Miri at home and lie to her about their jobs while they work. One night, Miri follows Kazuki to Kiyotaro's bar and he lies that he was babysitting her for extra money. Kiyotaro offers to babysit Miri to help them finish their work. To avoid Miri revealing the truth, Kazuki and Rei quickly complete their tasks. When Miri presents her report about her parents' careers, the mother's group is amazed by the idea that her fathers are secret oil billionaires. Despite Kiyotaro's suspicions, he doesn't mind that Kazuki and Rei are raising Miri as long as it doesn't affect their job. Kazuki becomes concerned that Miri may develop antisocial behavior due to her assassin parents. When Anna reports that Miri hit her friend Taiga, Kazuki sees an opportunity to prevent this. Miri argues with Kazuki, and the next day, she asks Rei to take her to daycare instead. However, Kazuki forgets Miri's lunch and decides to take it to her even though the daycare is on a zoo trip. Taiga becomes lost with Miri, and they encounter an armed robber. Miri and Taiga return to Anna safely after the masked Kazuki and Rei apprehend the robber. Kazuki realizes Miri is growing up normally, but he still refuses to let Taiga become her boyfriend. Back at home, Miri forgives Kazuki and they share her missing lunch. Meanwhile, a woman named Karin visits Kyotaro's bar. Miri narrowly avoids being hit by a car, which triggers a traumatic memory for Kazuki. Later, he discovers a photo of his late wife, Yuzuko, and believes he doesn't deserve happiness. The stress of taking care of Miri and Rei causes Kazuki to lose his temper and leave. Rei takes Miri to daycare alone in the rain and panics when he finds out it's closed. Kazuki seeks refuge at Kyotaro's bar, where he learns from his sister-in-law Karin that she returned all the money he had been sending her. It is revealed that Yuzuko and their unborn child died in a car explosion caused by Kazuki's pursuit of an assassination target. Miri falls sick from the rain, and Rei rushes her to Kyotaro for help. Kazuki visits Yuzuko's grave with Karin, who tells him that Yuzuko wanted him to be happy and move on. Kazuki returns home, finds Rei exhausted and Miri recovering from the fever, and decides to display Yuzuko's photograph on his desk. Rei receives a summons from his father, Shiichi Suwa, the leader of a powerful assassin organization, and is told to return home and continue the family's line. Shiichi orders Rei to assassinate Satoru Kaji, who betrayed their organization. Meanwhile, Kazuki and Miri plan a surprise party for Rei's birthday. During the mission, Rei learns that Satoru fell in love and tried to leave the organization, but Shiichi had his girlfriend killed. Rei engages in a fight with Satoru, and even though he tries to spare him at the end, Satoru forces Rei to kill him, so he can be with his girlfriend. Rei is left questioning his future and whether he is destined to be a tool for assassination, or if he deserves something better. Kazuki interrupts his thoughts and takes him home to a surprise party thrown by Miri. However, Shiichi remains suspicious of Kazuki and Miri and sends a demand for information to Kyotaro. Miri practices hard to win in her daycare's sports event. The night before, Rei secretly goes to the field for an unknown reason. The next day, Rei surprises Kazuki by making rice balls for the picnic, which Kazuki prepared. Rei ensures they get a good spot to watch Miri's event by setting up a razor wire around it, which makes other parents uneasy. At the event, Rei realizes Kazuki is quite popular among the other parents and many of the mothers have a crush on him and Rei. During lunch, the children love Rei's rice balls because he filled them with sweets and snacks. While cheering for Miri in her race, Rei is shocked by himself, and Miri trips and finishes last, which makes Rei blame himself. Kazuki helps Miri in the parent-child obstacle course while Rei watches sadly. Miri chooses Rei as her item in the scavenger hunt, and wins the gold, which makes Kazuki cry when Miri reveals that her item was family. Kyotaro manages to obtain some photographs of Rei, Kazuki, and Miri for Rei's father. Miri's mother, Misaki, unexpectedly returns and demands custody of Miri. Kazuki and Rei are hesitant to give up Miri, but Misaki reveals that she has throat cancer and doesn't have much time left. Misaki wants to take Miri and have her adopted by her parents after she passes away. She hints that she knows about Kazuki and Rei's past as assassins and threatens to blackmail them. Later, Kyotaro informs them that Boss has ordered Rei to return to the organization or else Kazuki and Miri will be killed by Ojino as punishment for Rei's betrayal. They realize they can no longer keep Miri safe, so they spend one last day out with her and then hand her over to Misaki, pretending it's a sleepover. Kazuki and Rei come to terms with the fact that they may never see Miri again or have a chance at a normal life. They worry about whether Miri would hate them if she ever found out the truth. Kazuki and Rei are struggling to cope with Miri's absence. Rei returns to his father, while Misaki and Miri move into an apartment nearby so Miri can still attend daycare. Kazuki wants to work, but Kyotaro is worried about his mental state and refuses to allow it. Shiichi informs Rei that he plans to kill Kazuki and Miri to sever all of Rei's ties to his life outside the organization. Rei quickly contacts Kazuki to save Miri. Ojino shoots both Misaki and Kazuki, but they manage to escape with Miri, who is sleeping. Misaki dies in Kazuki's arms, and they go to a safe house where Rei joins them. Kazuki decides to fake Miri's death and send her to an orphanage outside of Japan, but this time Rei is determined to find a way for them to stay together while keeping Miri safe. Kazuki agrees but sets the condition that Rei help with chores and limit his game time to an hour a day, which greatly upsets Rei. They tell Kiyotaro that they quit being assassins and are now full-time fathers to Miri. As Christmas approaches, Kazuki is unsure what gift to get for Miri since she had already given her letter to Misaki. They try to hide Misaki's death from Miri, who is sad about her mother not being able to attend the daycare Christmas party. Kazuki and Rei promise to attend the party after completing an important job. They break into the organization to confront Shiichi, but must fight their way in and ultimately kill Ogino. Rei faces Shiichi alone and announces his departure from the organization to be with his real family, purposely injuring his own arm to ensure he can never be an assassin again. Shiichi almost shoots Rei, but ultimately lets him go. Despite their injuries, they make it back in time for the daycare party, dressed as Santa Claus. A decade later, Kazuki and Rei run a diner together named the Diner Nest, where Rye's French toast is the specialty dish. Miri is now a teenager in high school and happily lives with her two fathers.